Okay, so now what we're going to be doing is adjusting the sun and the sun's path and the shadows that it creates. So first off, to turn the shadows on, if we come down to the view controls down the bottom here, we have like a gray sphere, that is our shadow. Turn that on as you cast the shadows. For a better view of what we're doing, if we turn on our 3D view. So when in the 3D view, if we turn on our shadows, and again we can press WT to display our window tiles. So now that we have our shadows turned on, the next thing we're going to do is add in our sun path, and I can show you how we can adjust its position around that path. So to do that, we'll come down to where the shadow icon is, and beside that is the sun path. So if we click, we have three different options here. The first one is the sun settings themselves, and below that is just where we actually turn the sun path on and off. So if we turn it on, what the warning is explaining is the sun will not display because relative to view is selected in sun settings. What would you like to do? Would you either use the specified project location, date and time instead? We can do this if we have specified our project's location, and then we can then specify the date and time ourselves. The project location is something we haven't covered yet, and this is something we will cover in the intermediate course. Our second option is to continue with current settings, which is what we'll do. So we'll continue to current settings and then we will change them ourselves. Then we'll get a compass around the plan as well. We can turn it on in the 3D view as well. So again, select the sun, turn on the sun path and press OK. So next we'll click back on the sun, and then we'll go to our sun settings. And here in the sun setting dialog box, our first section is the solar study. So we have a few options. We can set the sun to be in the still position, i.e. the sun won't move. We can lock it into one position. So next is the single day, where we can determine the start position of the sun along a specified axis, then to the finish point. Next is the multi-day. So instead of tracking the sun on one particular day, we have the option of doing it over a couple of days. And lastly is the lighting option, where we can just specify a specific angle we want that sun to be. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to focus on the single day solar study. And within the single day solar study, we have a few presets. So first is the in session, so what we're doing right now. So that's those settings there. Next is the 1 day solar study. So this is something we're going to focus on in a few minutes, where we can create an actual solar study from the sunrise to the sunset and see how the shadows are cast upon the building. Next will be a summer solstice solar study. So obviously the sun will be at a higher position when it runs along the axis. Winter solstice will be then at a lower position and so on. So these are presets provided by Autodesk.